Hi everyone, how's it going? It's Jose here with another video. In this video we're going to be talking about creating, deleting, manipulating files and directories and just using essential tools as one of the objectives. And again, always refer to the objectives of the exam. That's how you know you're on the right track and can challenge other source material as well, okay? Or resources. And here we go. So yeah, to begin, we're going to talk about, let's just talk about the stat command. So we can look at the stat command. The stat command, always with a command when you're learning it, just man stat. It's a display file or file system status, okay? So for sure, we just want to use it on a simple example. So we can go like etc host, let's just do hosts, let's see. Here, and then so here we go, etc host here is a regular file. We can see here, see blocks, inode, size, stuff like that. So it just lets you know, let's see, maybe we can even just do it on the etc directory, right? So boom, here it also tells you directory right here as well. So that's always good information. It gives you the permissions as well, we'll talk about later on, and then even some timestamps here for changes or when it was created and stuff like that. So you can see here access as well, 1126. Cool. So Control L, so a nice shortcut that I like to clear up the screen. So that's a stat command, and then so yeah, so that is how we can kind of define if you're looking at something and you're on a system and it's not color coded and you can't decipher what it is. Like we can, you know, even in here we can like stat. Let's say we didn't have that color coding, we can do documents like that, and then we can see it's a directory here. And then here we go, and then so we can Control L again. Moving on, this is going to be file editing. So yeah, so I have here on my web page here, Vim is going to be your best friend. Really get used to Vim because Vim is a super powerful tool, and it's on systems, it's everywhere. It keeps your hand. I think the real benefit is that Vim keeps your hands on the keyboard. So you don't have to like move off, you know, use the mouse and stuff and like pause your flow, okay? And then, so yeah, the best way to start Vim is you can do Vim like this, and then you can quit, and then we can do Vim, and then we can just do a file name. So I'll just do test here, boom, and this was a test file, and then here, so here we're gonna be on the, what we call the escape mode here. I call it the escape mode because to get here, we're always gonna go press escape, okay? And I'm just covering minimum use case for Vim, and we'll talk about how we can learn a little bit more about Vim in the future. So let's go back. So we go back, right? We can quit, right? We're here on escape mode, right? We can go semicolon, so that shift colon is what I meant, and then we go quit. Like this, Q, like that, okay? And then to go back, we Vim test the file, right? Boom, like that, okay? Now something I actually just thought about that I want to show is like, if let's say for example, I have the documents directory, right? And so let's go CD into documents. I want to just show this real quick because this is something that caught me off guard once. And so let's Vim new file .txt, we'll just do that, Vim. And then to insert something, right, we're gonna hit I, and now we're gonna be in insert mode. We can see here on the bottom left there, we're gonna see insert, and so now we can start typing. So, hello, this is a test, right? And then from here, we're gonna press the escape key. So we're gonna go escape, see how the changes there on the bottom left? And then we're gonna go shift, colon, and then we're gonna write, right? So here we save it, right? So written, we save it. But if we wanna quit, we just do like that, right? So let's go back into it real quick. And then, so if let's say we wanna do, that we can go back, I for insert, right? We can move the cursor down with our arrow keys, and then we can type another thing, line 2, and we can do it at the same time. So we can do right, quit, like this. So boom, and that'll save everything, right? Cool. All right, so now what I wanted to show you is this. So let's say we vim a directory, right? So like we're trying to like get there, we forget to put the to the rest of the name for the file that's in there, and we vim the directory. So this is what's gonna pop up here. Okay, so from here we can just simply like use our control keys and get to the file there like that. Okay, that was something that surprised me earlier when I first started using them, so I wanted to share that there. And it's completely normal behavior of Vim. So don't be scared when you see that. So right quit. Okay, so that's some basic, right? We got in there. Oh, that's another tip here. So if we go back into that file, right? So we can go here, new file. We go and then like let's say we're here at the beginning of the line. We can, if we want to get to the end, we can just hit end. If you have the end button on your keyboard there like this, we can like control, if we go back, we can go home like that. And that's how you can move up. That's a tip I wanted to share, or just a normal navigation of Vim, because it's helpful when you're trying to just navigate. Let's see, so we went over quit. Let's see, moving around in Vim. So yeah, so in Vim here, so for example, it's similar to how the man pages controls work. So yeah, we move around with the arrow keys. Let's say we're in escape mode, right? To the bottom of the page, we just go Shift G like this. And then if we want to go to the top, it's double G. Boom, boom, like that. And then another thing we can cover is the searching in it. So we're still in escape mode. One thing we can do is in this, just right here in escape mode, nothing on the bottom left there, we can press the /, right? And you see how it comes up there at the bottom? And we can search for a word. So for example, let's see hello, right? We can go hello, then press enter, and then that is not found, right? Because we are case sensitive searching. So we go hello, and then we do hello like this, and then start highlighting it, okay? And then if we wanted to, if let's say for example, our cursor was at the bottom, right? We can do question mark, and then we can go test like this. Okay, and that will look backwards, similar to the man. Next thing we're going to cover is we're going to talk about in escape mode. We're going to talk about deleting, pasting, and undoing. Okay, so let's say for example we're here in escape mode again, and we'll do a lot of things in escape mode, right? So we can go to delete a line, right? We can do DD, right? On that line, it'll delete the entire line, and then but DD also acts as cut. So let's say we wanted to paste, right? So we can paste with P in escape mode still. We can move our cursor, right? We can press paste like that, okay? And P by itself, it'll do one line down, okay? And then we can undo that. And you see here one line less with U, okay? So now let's say we wanted to paste that again. We'll press P, right? And then let's say, for example, we wanted to copy this one. So we're on this line, still in escape mode. We can press Y like this, and then we can press paste, right? Let's do a new line, that way we can see it. So we go insert, right, I, and then we can do line 3, and then we can escape, right? Press escape, and then we're gonna do Y, right? And then we can go P, and there it is, okay? So now let's remove these lines. So we can go DD, 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 like this, okay? And then something I challenge you to do, if you like number lines, try to find a Google search of how to put in the number lines there. Or I have a video on my channel to how to do it. There's also a way to do it temporarily in the Vim session that you're in. All right. So the last tip I want to share with Vim is going to be one of the most important tips that I can share. It is really important, especially when you don't have copy and paste available, especially when you don't have a GUI available. You can use this to not copy and paste, but it's like bringing information from other files that you have on the system, and you need to do it without leaving Vim. So for example, if we want to like get information about the host, or we want to get information about, you know, any DNS settings or something like that, the point is that while we're in escape mode, we can do semicolon R, which stands for read, and then we can exclamation point, and let's say, for example, I needed information from the Etsy host file. So we can do cat Etsy host, right? Look at that. So it brings it right in whatever the output was for that command. So again, we can do escape mode, read, boom, and then we can do, let's just say, host name. And it'll read whatever the output is for that command and put it into the Vim file. Okay, super important. And the main thing that I want to take from this lab is that you know that these options are available for you, and then that they'll come up later on. And as you keep doing the labs moving forward, they'll just become repetitive. And don't try to remember everything just for no reason. Just continue knowing that these options are available to you, and you'll see when they come up and when they're going to be really important. Okay. But like I said, don't try to remember everything. Just move forward with the course, and then it'll start making sense and clicking later on. Okay. So we can right quit. And then another tip that I have here, especially if you want to really get into Vim, is going to be Vim Tutor, which is available on the system. And here is welcome to the Vim Tutor. It has many commands, as you can see, and it has a lot of lessons for Vim here, okay, that you can do. Okay, and here you leave the same way, which is semicolon quit, or Q. So I was kind of creating files there, as you saw, using Vim, and one command that I do want to cover it too is touch. Touch is just another command. We'll just do two. I think I made one already. So that makes an empty file. So now the file exists. So it wasn't there before. We Control L. We can make another one, right? We just scroll up, and then another one gets made. We can ls, and we can see the new file. Okay. And then moving on, creating directories. So make a directory. So right, ls, right? We can see. Let's do a prettier view. We can see all our files here, right? A nice ABC order. And then we want to create a new directory, right? Which you can see here in the bash terminal here that they're highlighted in blue. So that's a good differentiator. Another way of telling that this is a directory is here in the front. You can see here, D. These are directories, okay? So we can Control L there. And then what we can do is to make a directory, we're going to do make directory, and then we're just going to name it new DRI, like this. Boop. Cannot create file exist. Okay, so why is that? It does exist exactly. So what we can do here is just give it another name. So new directory 2, like that. Okay, and now it exists. Okay. On my page here, I have the P option available. So if we want to, we can man make directory like this. And we can see a lot of the options. And you see here, the P option is parents. No error if existing, make parent directories as needed. Okay, and we're gonna add the verbose option as well too, to make sure that we can see the, it's going to give us visibility to what is happening under the hood, okay? So we're going to do make directory, right? And then we're going to do directory 1, and we're going to do sub directory 1, and then sub directory, okay, 2, like this, okay? And then what we're going to do, let's go back up here to put our options. So remember, we can put PV like this, PV like this. Yep, and then we can also put it together. So we're just gonna do the PV way like this, okay? So make directory, boop, and we can see here, create a directory, it gives us that verbose output there. And then one thing that we can do is that we can tree, right? Tying these back together here, tree 1 like this, okay? And so we can see that the subdirectories were also made. Another way we can check, right, is we can ls, look at it, directory 1, and then we can cd into directory 1. We can ls, and then we can cd into subdirectory 1, like this. So now we're created those directories, okay? And we can see the subdirectory, subdirectory. Then we can control L there. Moving on, we're gonna start copying files. So we can copy files. So let's CD back to home, and so we can copy files. For example, let's do a copy of, let's CD into documents. And then we can do new file, right? So we can cat new file. And I don't think I talked about cat, so we can man cat real quick. And can a files and print the standard output, right? So we can go here, right, quit, and we can cat it. So what it does is that it'll show us the contents of that file, for example, like that. So this file, right, let's say for example, I wanted to copy it. Copy new file, and then we're gonna give it another name. It's gonna be copy new file, like this. Make it more like that, copy of new file, like this. And then we can give it that extension, boop. Okay, and then we can ls, and now we see the copy there as well, right? And then we can cat the copy, like that, right? And then we can also cat the new file to make sure it matches new file, like that, okay? And then we can also copy a directory. So let's cd out of here. And then what we can do is copy recursively, and we're gonna add recursively here, this R, to the documents, right? And then we're gonna make a documents 2, like this, okay? Boom. And then we're gonna boop, and then we're going to ls documents 2. As you can see, it contains the same thing as documents, okay? All right, and then we're gonna now copy a file into a directory. So let's do that. So let's copy new file 2 into, let's do pictures, okay? So we put pictures like this. Let's see, cannot stat no such file. So new file 2, oh, .txt. We forgot the .txt there, okay? And boom. And then we can ls pictures like this, okay? And we can see that it's in there. The thing we're gonna cover is moving that files and directories. So in this one, I'm just gonna cover the first one, and then from there, go ahead and try the other options, okay? So the first thing is we're gonna do 2 things. We're gonna move the file to a destination directory, and then we're gonna rename. So renaming is important too. So move, let's see, let's ls to see what we have. Let's move new file .txt. Let's move it to music, right? So first thing we're gonna do is check that it's empty, right? So let's do music, right? Nothing in there. And then let's move the new file .txt to music. Okay, now let's go back. Boom, we can see that it's been moved, and that new file is not in the directory anymore, okay? And then we're just gonna rename a file. So let's do that. So let's rename this test.txt that I have here that I created a while ago. Now we're going to rename this test.txt file that I have. And so what we're going to do is, first of all, let's see if there's anything in there. We're going to vim test.txt like this. We're going to I for insert, right? And then we're going to start typing. This is a test file. And we're going to right click. Boom, like that. And if you don't have this file, just make it. And then what we're gonna do is, now we're going to rename it, right? So we can cat it first. Let's cat, test it, we can see. And then let's rename it, move.txt, and we're going to rename it test123.txt, like this, right? And we're in the same directory, boom. So that's test 1, 2, 3, right? So we can cat that, test 1, 2, 3, and boom, okay? and Control L. We want to delete these files, right? We've been testing, we've been playing around, but they're kind of cluttering up our environment, right? So let's start removing these files, okay? So one thing we can do is remove RM, right? And I always encourage you, if I'm showing you a command, go ahead and hit that man RM, right? Remove files and directories. It tells you right at the top a short description. It gives you some good options here. One that for sure you might be using is force, because sometimes they're, for reasons unknown, they files and directories might not get deleted. So let's quit here. Let's clear that. So we just man that, right? So that's one thing we just did. We did man, check that out. And then what we're gonna do is remove a file. So let's do this. So this one says remove new file 2, new file 3. Let's remove test 1, 2, 3. So let's do all of those. So what we can do is something like remove new file tab.txt like this. Oh no, that's not, that file doesn't exist. So the auto tab won't complete, so we can do this. Boop. See, and we can see that one's gone, right? One thing too that we can do is something like remove *.txt. Okay, and we'll learn a little bit more about that when we get into bash and scripting and things like that. So right, we can do something like that, and then that removes everything as well. Okay. And then, for example, if we want to move a directory, right, we can do remove, and then we can do directory 1 like this, right? So, cannot remove directory, right, is a directory. What we can use here is something like this, right, recursively, like this, okay? And that'll remove everything under, because by default, remove won't work on directories that have something in them, okay? And then, for example, if we we can do the same thing for documents 2. So let's try to remove it. Documents 2, right? Can I remove the directory? It has something in it, right? Okay. So what we can do is, again, we can do recursively like that, and it'll delete everything under. You can also use, I think it's called remove directory like this, and we can try that on directory 2. Yeah, and that's the one. Okay, but usually don't really use that one, but it's another available option if you want to use it. Okay, so next thing we got here is the end of the lab. So in the end of the lab, what I want to cover is not focusing so much on remembering everything, but do practice and do try to get used to those keys, because there might be a system where you don't have a mouse and you need to use Vim and you need to use those shortcuts. So I think that's what's super important, okay? And then that's it for this lab. I will continually add to the web pages, so thank you so much.